Good morning and welcome to the start of another reading vlog. It's actually Tuesday morning, so I'm starting a little bit later than I normally do, but over the past day I've just been reading Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. So this is the last book that I had set out to read in August, and so I'm just basically going to be devoting all of my reading time to finishing this until it's done, and then just starting fresh with my September books. So I'll post my September TBR down below for you in case you missed it. I'm excited for everything I'm reading in September. So since it's September 1st, Tuesday, it's the start of Becca's Bookopoly-thon, as well as a touch of Whimsy's Alice in Wonderland themed reading or readathon, so I'm very excited. But yeah, so basically I'm just going to be finishing this and then starting everything fresh. So I'm still adoring Royal Assassin. There's definitely a lot of politics happening in the second half of this book that's super fun. I'm about 150 pages from the end, so I'm hoping that in the next couple of days I can get this knocked out. And then my next physical book will be Shielded by Kaylin Flanders. This was the Becca's Bookopoly prompt for a standalone. I believe this is what I picked that for. And so, yeah, I think this will be the next physical read. I'll talk more about a synopsis once I'm actually kind of into these books, but this is my next physical priority. As far as audiobooks, I have a few checked out from the library that are going to be my next priorities. And that includes A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor by Hank Green. This isn't for any prompt, this is just a hold came in at the library, and so I want to go ahead and listen to this. This is the second book after An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, which I absolutely loved and read last year. And then I also have The Train to Impossible Places out on audio from the library, and I also have Wundersmith by Jessica Townsend out from the library on audio. And so those are going to be my next audiobook priorities. I'm certainly not going to get to all three this week by any means, but those are going to be my just in the near future priorities. A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor will probably be first because that has the least amount of time left on it of all of my holds. So I'm probably going to turn to that one very soon after I finish reading Royal Assassin, and then pick up Shielded physically. So those are the plans so far this week, so I will check in later to let you know how things are going. So it is Sunday afternoon. There are a couple of updates. One, I finished Royal Assassin finally by Robin Hobb. I love this, and this is the second book in the realm of the Elden... Well, actually, it's the second book in the Farseer trilogy, which is the first trilogy in kind of the larger realm of the Elden Ring world. And again, this one follows Fitz, who is the bastard son of a prince in this world, and he's dropped off back at the castle by his, I believe, maternal grandfather, who's just like, I can't take care of him anymore, here you go. His father abdicates, and then the king basically wants him to be trained as an assassin to work for him. And so he's kind of on the inside of some things because he's still technically related to the royalty in this world, but he is also kind of on the outside since he was a bastard son. But he's trained as an assassin, so he's learning a bunch of stuff. The first book kind of follows him as a kid. This one follows him when he's a teenager, and yeah, so I particularly adored the second half of this with a bunch of the politics going on and a lot of that coming to a head. There was just like a lot of stuff going on in the second half. I will say the romance in this isn't super my favorite or anything, but it's fine, it's whatever, it's there, and it didn't particularly bother me. And again, this is a slow story, and you're kind of falling in love with these characters and just really coming to grow to care for these characters, including Fitz and just some of the other people around him. Yeah, I'm just so excited to read the third one, and I loved it. And yeah, it'll probably be a moment before I can get to the third one, but I'm very excited to get to the third one. Yeah, I don't really know how much more I can say without being too spoilery since it's the second book in the series. But anyway, next thing I read or listened to on audio was An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I freaking love this. So I was a little bit hesitant going in because I had heard some mixed things about the book and the audiobook in particular, but like I freaking adored this book and adored the audiobook. So again, second book in a series, can't really say too much because spoilers, but this one again is after An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, follows April May, who discovers a statue on her way home from work in New York City and makes a video with this statue, posted on YouTube. Turns out that entity is an alien entity, and she is the first one to really kind of publicly make contact, and so she kind of becomes the unofficial ambassador to these entities that she calls Carl, and craziness ensues. This is the second book, and again, just kind of one of the complaints that I had heard was, again, just kind of for plot reasons I'm not going to go into, like, the first book mostly follows from April's perspective, but I actually really like that in the second one he's also kind of bringing in some additional perspectives to kind of fill in some other gaps in the story that would have been there if you were only following it from April's perspective. And I really enjoyed getting to know the other characters. I really did. I thought they were, I thought Hank did a good job kind of making them distinct characters that I just, again, really enjoyed following. I thought the narrators, like, it was a full cast of narrators. I thought they all did a fantastic job. I mean, I was just riveted the entire time in this one. Like, the stakes just shot up. I mean, they were high in the first one, but like the stakes were super high in this one. He definitely found a good way to just ramp that up. And again, he just does such a good job with you falling in love with imperfect characters, and doing a really good job kind of delving into their flaws and how they either acknowledge them or don't, or kind of work through them, work around them, and still kind of making you love them in the end. And I just, oh my god, I loved it. I loved it. It was also really cool because at the end of the audiobook, there was like a 45-minute conversation between Hank and someone else, kind of about the themes of the book. And it's definitely clear that social media, so April kind of becomes a social media star after making contact with the Carls. So there's definitely very clear commentary on social media, on companies controlling communication and connection and kind of monetizing people being connected. There's a lot that he says in this book that I think is absolutely fascinating, and I love that the audiobook includes kind of a conversation that he has with someone specifically about the themes of the book and what he kind of really wanted to talk about and why he wanted to talk about those things. So I thought it was fascinating. I friggin' adored this book. Anyway, so I'm also in the middle of reading Shielded by Caitlin Flanders. I'm currently on page 142, so I'm, a little bit into this, but not super far into this. And this one follows Princess Genocera. And in her world, there's definitely some fighting, some tension kind of up on the northern part of the border. She is kind of, her father basically forces her hand and says that she's going to be betrothed to a prince of the land that's south to them, and in exchange that southern land is going to help give them troops and supplies and things they need for the skirmishes that are going on kind of on the northern side of this territory. And so she's kind of upset about this, but ultimately she ends up kind of understanding what her country is going through and what her family and what her father needs from her. And she, ends up going. She's kind of in, there's a caravan with different people who are there to kind of go with her to this new land and kind of see her off. And while they're traveling, her caravan is attacked, and it kind of goes from there. And so she's trying to figure out, her caravan's attacked by mages, and so she's trying to figure out what's going on, why they were attacked by mages, what it means, politically what it means, and what she should do about that. And that's kind of where I am at, and I think that's kind of where the synopsis also leaves off. And so I can't really say much more than that because I'm just not terribly far into it, but it's been enjoyable enough. I'm not blown away so far, but it's it's fun enough. I'm definitely having a good time. I'm definitely wanting to continue reading. I'm not struggling to pick it up by any means, so I'll let you know as I continue reading this and have more thoughts. But that's how my reading has gone so far this week. Definitely been having a really great reading week. And yeah, so today I will be reading more of this physically. The next audiobook I have picked up is Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. And I'm not going to say much here. I really want to leave that kind of for later check-ins, I guess, and kind of a future vlog probably. But oh my god, I'm loving it so far. And this is one that I picked for A Touch of Whimsy's readathon. And I think I picked this for the prompt, well, one for, was it one that you think you're really gonna love? Like, I'm pretty sure that was one, and I think I also used this one for the prompt for A Cozy Night In. So we'll see. Hopefully tonight, I mean, it's Labor Day weekend, so I'm hoping tonight that I can just make some tea, curl up in bed, and just have a fun time sipping some tea and listening to this audiobook. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to make a separate vlog for the Touch of Whimsy stuff, so I'm probably just going to integrate any footage I have of that into my weekly vlogs. I think is what I'm going to do. But I will definitely be sure to check in, hopefully when I'm able to do that tonight. That's basically where I'm at. Just more of this, starting Wundersmith, and having a good time. Alright, I'll talk to you later. And it is now Tuesday after the Labor Day weekend, and yeah, I definitely had a good reading week. I finished Royal Assassin, thoroughly enjoyed A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor, and over the past couple of days just have been continuing with Shielded and started Wundersmith by Jessica Townsend. I think I'm about halfway through with Wundersmith, absolutely enjoying it so far. So I'll be talking more about both of those in next week's vlog, where hopefully I can finish both of those. So thanks for watching. I'll be sure to link everything down below as usual, my Instagram, my Twitter, links to support the Black Lives Matter movement and learn more. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.